The Cathar moved like ghosts through the wreckage, but ghosts bled. 2. In the bowels of utility shaft 14. A place once used to ferry raw ore from the northern ridge. A team of civilians waited in the dark, pressed into the walls like shadows, made of bone and breath. The only light came from a small flickering diode green, steady, and watching it blinked once. Go. A pressure plate clicked, and the floor beneath the advancing Cathar patrol sagged inward. In an instant, the tunnel erupted. Homemade thermite laced with titanium rods exploded upward in a cone of jagged fire, tearing 2 of the creatures apart mid-step. The others scattered, shrieking in tones too high for human ears, but too late. The humans were already moving. 10 of them, clad in modified mining suits, burst from a side corridor with repurposed drilling torches and flechette cannons. At their center, Corporal Moro Quinwans, a heavy haul driver, now a leader of the resistance cells, yelled through a cracked co-mask as he sprayed suppressive fire into the chaos. Hit 'em low, aim for the joints. They bleed, they fall. Oh. Cathar lunged at him, blades extended. Moro ducked low, slammed a shock baton into the creature's thorax, and pulled the trigger. It spasmed, convulsed, then fell with a wet hiss. As the smoke cleared, only the humans stood. For the first time in 70 hours, the shaft was quiet. The Ember network, they called it the Ashlina web of encrypted comm. Beacons set up across the old mining network, running on scavenged compact tech and redundant Terran relays. The Cathar, so far, hadn't cracked it. From these tunnels, human fighters coordinated ambushes, moved supplies, rescued trapped colonists. Every successful strike fed new hope. Every whisper of resistance fanned the coals of defiance in one of the deeper bunkers. Vale knelt beside a low-burning field stove, drawing movement routes in the dirt with a rusted tool shaft. Maro stood beside her, bruised, smiling. That was for Zetadome. Vale nodded. Good. Maro tapped a patch on his shoulder-painted flame over a broken skull. You know what they're calling us out there? He asked. Vale looked up. Embers. The compact watchies high above, in a compact relay satellite orbiting Ander Prime. A private channel came alive. Kalen stood alone, facing the projector. On the other end, a ring of alien figures compact command. Watching, calculating. One of them, a Daon coordinator with translucent skin and a voice like a rusted harp, asked, Are the humans still resisting? Kalen gave the faintest nod. They are. Adapting, clarify. Kalen paused. They've turned mining gear into weapons, converted transit shafts into kill zones. Their civilians are fighting like trained infantry. Their commander has awakened a dormant AI from the old wars. Another figure leaned forward. Ander Prime is lost. The Cathar must be contained. We recommend a kinetic cleansing strike. Minimal fallout. Strategic gain. Callan's eyes narrowed, and yet they're holding. There was silence. And then Callan did something unthinkable. He disconnected the feed. For the first time in years. He was not a liaison. He was taking a side. A spark in the darken. The old hydroponic dome long since gutted, and turned into a triage zone. Azar moved through the wounded. He carried a slate, transcribing the stories of those who survived, sketching in elegant Zar glyphs what he called the Testament of Fire. He paused by a girl with a shattered leg, her face smudged with soot. You were there. In the ridge tunnels. She nodded slowly as Zar gently tapped the slate. And when the Cathar came, what did you do? The girl didn't smile. But her voice, quiet and unbroken, whispered, We lit them up. Tactical Firing Command, Bunker Theta. Vale stood over the central holomap, watching in real time as the new strategy took shape. Sindevo's voice echoed calmly through the speakers. Probability of tactical recovery has risen 11%. Enemy drone behavior adapting, expect counter-evolution in less than 36 hours. Suggestion: leverage. Human unpredictability. As strategic asset, Vale smirked. That's the plan. Behind her, a squad of resistance fighters loaded plasma mines into hovercarts, preparing for another deep run into the breached sectors. Kayla, entering silently, watched them go. They believe in you. Vale didn't look up. They believe they're out of options. He approached the console. The compact is losing faith in this planet, but I am not compact anymore. She studied him for a long moment. And what are you? Callan's 4 eyes shimmered in the low light. Larati, strategist, and, it seems, an ember. Ander. Prime breathes by midnight. The message had reached 5 systems. A stolen drone, rigged with an amplifier, broadcast a signal across the stars. Humanity still fights, and we are not alone. Somewhere deep in the ice fields of Neriofer, a group of outlawed mercenaries tuned in, somewhere in the burned ruins of the Syrinx moons. Survivors heard and turned toward the sound, and somewhere in the distant dark, Jerichool paused. The whispers of its hive were no longer one voice. There was fire spreading in the silence,